In the quiet village of Bethany, a demon named Lazarus lay sick. He was the brother of Martha and Mary, the same Mary who once poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. The sisters, deeply worried, my dear, sent a message to Jesus saying, "Lord, the one you love is sick." When Jesus heard this, he responded, "This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Though Jesus loved Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, he stayed where he was for 2 more days. Then he told his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." The disciples were alarmed. "Rabbi," they said, "a short while ago the Jews there tried to stone you, and yet you are going back." Jesus answered, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." The disciples, misunderstanding, replied, "O Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better." Then Jesus spoke plainly, "Dear Lazarus is dead, and for your sake, I'm glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Brave Thomas, also called Didymus, said to the others, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was filled with mourners comforting Martha and Mary. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary stayed home. "Lord," Martha said, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha replied, "I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." Jesus declared, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this?" Martha answered, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world." Martha returned to Mary and whispered, "The teacher is here and is asking for you." Mary got up quickly and went to him. When she saw Jesus, she fell at his feet and cried, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus saw her weeping along with the mourners. Moved deeply and troubled, he asked, "Where have you laid him?" "Come and see, Lord," they replied. Jesus wept. The people watching said, "See how he loved him." But some murmured, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Jesus, still deeply moved, approached the tomb, a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. Martha, ever practical, objected, "But Lord, by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days." Jesus replied, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. Jesus looked up and prayed, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." Then he called out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The crowd gasped. From the dark entrance of the tomb, Lazarus emerged, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." Many who saw this miracle believed in Jesus. It was a moment that showed the world he holds power over life and death, a power driven by love, faith, and the will of God. Do you believe that Jesus is the resurrection and the life? Just as he called Lazarus from the grave, he calls us to a new life, a life of faith, hope, and everlasting love. This story isn't just about Lazarus, it's about hope, faith, and the power of Jesus over death itself. It foreshadows his own resurrection and offers a glimpse of the eternal life he promises to all who believe.